If you really want to be efficient, you shouldn't really be pushing past 200 combat. Oh my god. Oh, what's up guys? Jimmy's Bot here. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to make a new video after we hit 500 guard. I feel that some of the information that I've spread in the previous video can be improved upon. So I just want to kind of lay it out in a few separate points. So we'll get right into it. For those who don't know, I played Hammer Mage. We only did the guard profession. We barely even touched the other episodes, but I'm just going to try and lay it down. These are kind of like the most valuable things that I would recommend to anybody who's willing to push into the combat grind in Brighter Shores. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So first point is that in my experience, I always got better damage per second when I was using a great hammer or a great stone mace. The two-handed options just always had higher base damage. I'm not sure if it's just a hammer mage thing, but it seemed like the 1Hs are somewhat underwhelming. You can punch up with them fairly well, especially the slow speed of the Warhammer lets you walk mobs. But in general, I felt like I was tending to gear farm with the Warhammer, and whenever I had the 2Hs, actually when we were pumping the XP, right? The second point is that when you're training combat, the potion that you're using is very important, right? I had bought in Arbor potions, which I think might have been a mistake. I used Arbor pots. I used actually even the plus 50s when I had a 48% roll on Thieves, because I was about 2 gear thresholds higher on a 1H Arbor mace. This is just a general stone mace. And I feel like that wasn't really that helpful for me. Like in the grand scheme of things, if I look back, I think I should have just used like a blue two-handed weapon and then used Tempest pots, because having that higher proc chance makes it so much better. So I would say at all circumstances, try and use the Tempest potion if you're a hammer mage. Try and use the cryo potion if you're on Cryo Knight. And like even just to dive a little bit further into that, just to know like whether or not if you're going to use potions, I would recommend everybody to use plus 40 basically after about level 50. And only if you're racing should you ever use plus 50 or higher, or if you have your own potions, right, that you made perhaps yourself. The cost scaling is just really bad. That's more of like a racing thing. The plus 40s will get you a lot of damage pickup, and I highly recommend just maybe going with those. Basically, the way to look at it is the higher your proc rate is, especially like 80, 85, if you hit that 89, your potion utilization is like maxed out, because you're going to be constantly getting that strength boost, which helps you like hit that damage threshold to really hit those high consistent numbers, get really quick kills. The third point I had is actually about the armory. I talked about the armory in a previous vid, but what I want to say here is that the armory like literally saved me probably 1 to 2 dozen hours. Like we're talking like literally maybe 20, 25 hours total. I got like 4 different blue two-handed weapon upgrades, just like between the ranges of like 400 and 500. I rolled like dozens of armor pieces like all over the place. I was getting them. They're huge for pushing, especially in Chronopolis if you're doing the detective raid combo. Like that just really will push you forward. I definitely recommend doing that as well. Like a fourth point, just to kind of close out here, I wanted to keep this video kind of quick. If you really want to be efficient, you shouldn't really be pushing past 200 combat until we have trading or until you've made your own potions. We don't really know how cheap potions might be in the future. If you're able to get plus 80s or you're able to get consistent high tier weaponry, if you want to be efficient with your time, maybe just consider slowing down at 200, put your time into other skills. Try and get like a floor of 200s. I mean, we can hit 3,600 total without even getting into combat too much. And just to add to that, I wanted to make sure I included something that kind of goes in hand with the fourth point. So if you do choose to go past level 200, I highly recommend when you get the best gear rolls, like any rare or epic two-handed weapon, if you're on Hammer Mage, when you're getting those top tier rolls, you should strongly consider using knowledge points to put them outside of your current profession. So like training guard, for example, especially once you're 200 plus, right? It makes more sense to consider, okay, I just got an epic roll. If I use this for 30 levels, then that epic becomes, basically irrelevant once you're like a blue that's like, only a few dozen levels higher than what you originally had rolled for, right? So one way to look at it is if you choose to KP out of that skill, for example, putting your knowledge into something like, foraging, that's at least going to let you, get some foraging levels or alchemy, right? And what happens is the effect is that you actually get to use that equipment for maybe an extra hour, extra 2 hours, and you're getting really good clear speed. It's not impacting your XP per hour as much, but this may lose its value over time. It's definitely true before trading. Highly recommend you guys check that out. At least try sampling it, see if you get what I mean when you could basically choose to KP into the skill only when you have bad equipment to kind of skip through levels versus, KPing out to kind of really get more utilization when you have those top tier picks. So I highly recommend kind of pacing yourself. It's an easy way to burn out and perhaps not for everyone, but hopefully this video will help you. Just 4 points that might hopefully, give you some direction on where you're going. But that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Have a good one. Thank you.